I I hold multiple my multiple certifications in my bucket. So I hold AWS Developer Associate, Terraform Associate, and Kubernetes Certified Administrator. So I hold these certifications. Okay, so this is my introduction. Yeah, that's the thing actually. Before moving further, you need to understand what is the prerequisites that is needed that are needed to join this course, and that's the thing actually. Okay, now the prerequisite, when we look into the prerequisite, we are going to start this course from very scratch level, very scratch. You'll be understanding when I will be going you through the syllabus, and you will be understanding from where we are going to start the course. Okay, so we are going to start the very scratch level actually. We have designed this course by keeping in mind both fresher as well as experienced peoples. Okay, so in that way we have designed, you can see that we are starting this from very scratch, and only prerequisite for joining this course is your AWS account, because you need to create servers, you need to install Jenkins, you need to install Docker, you need to use that things. Okay, for that we need some server. So that server we are going to create, or we are going to provision as part of the AWS, as part of the Amazon Web Services. Okay, that's the thing actually. Now we need that account. Okay, now that's what only the prerequisite is. Yeah, uh, it is as simple as creating your Facebook or your Insta account. That simple it is. Anyway, I'll be showing how to create an AWS account, and how to create a server, and how to log into the server, and how to install the different things. So I'll be showing that. Do not worry about that. But AWS account is required. Okay, that's what the prerequisite is, only prerequisite. Okay, now minimum laptop is, if you want to practice in your local machine, like some people might be downloading a Docker into their local machine and practicing there, right? So for them, if they want to download Docker and practice in your local machine, at least 4 GB of RAM should be there for the Docker, because Docker is a huge software that requires high amount of CPU and high amount of resources. You cannot you cannot run without this. If you install Docker, it might affect some other applications that are already there in your laptop. So that is the reason, that is the main reason why I am telling to use the Docker as part of the AWS account, AWS server, but not on your local machine. But if you want to use that, minimum requirement should be 4 GB RAM. Okay, that's the thing actually. Who can join this course? Freshers, experienced developers, testers, and DevOps aspirants, Linux admin, DB admins, and non-IT students. So all these people can be able to join this course, because that see, we will be going through the course not only in theory level. First theory, then diagrammatic, and then practical. You are going to get practical experience as part of this course. Okay, so how the people uses these technologies in the real industry, in the same way or the similar way, or we are going to do the as part of our course actually. Now any graduates can join this course, that means freshers, right? So that's the thing. What's the benefit that you are going to get as part of this course? Doubt clearing sessions, fully documented notes, full hands-on sessions. I told you, right? So we are going to make our hands dirty in order to complete this course. We are not just we are not just going to the theory and completing the theory notes. Now it's not like that. This course is not like that. This course will be entirely practical actually. Now full hands-on sessions and 8 different projects. Okay, 8 different projects, 8 different beautiful projects, real-time projects. That I have a separate slide for that. I'll be going you through that slide, okay, today. Okay, now that's the 8 different projects we are going to do as part of this course. Okay, interview questions, you are going to get the interview questions, okay, based on the Docker, based on the Kubernetes, based on Jenkins actually, who are aiming for the interviews. Okay, you will be ready for interview for you will be ready for answering the questions in the interview based on these three tools actually. So that's actually no, we will start this course from very basic level, and we will completing the course at the very advanced level, for who has real experience in the industry on these technologies. Like that we are going to complete the course. Okay, what is the timings? Okay, that's the timings is daily 1 hour class, 1 hour 15 minutes, something like that, if any extent is happening. Okay, that is from 8 a.m to 9:15 actually. Okay, and this class is going to be shifted from 7 a.m to 8 a.m to 9:15 a.m morning. from next Monday, coming Monday. Okay, that's the thing actually. It's my class will be from Monday to Friday. Okay, mostly will be Monday to Friday. If any things are there, I'll be mentioning you before itself. Like we are going to take a class on Saturday or Sunday. Mostly will not take, but if any class is there on Saturday Sunday, I will be putting that message in the I'll put that message in the Telegram group. We are going to create a Telegram group, and your people are going to add there, and all the doubts you have, you can post your doubts there, and we are going to answer the questions. Okay, such kind of support we are going to provide. And yeah, that the classes will be, please remember, it will be going to be shifted to 8 a.m. morning to 9:15 a.m. morning. Okay, now it's not 7 a.m. Today is 7 a.m., but from Monday or Tuesday we are going to shift this to 8 a.m. or 9:15. Okay, course content, I'll be going you through the course content today. And if you have any non-technical information, if you have any non-technical questions, like regarding the axis, like you are going to get a drive access where the people will be like from the Durgasoft people will be uploading the recordings, and from my side I am going to upload the documents and the YAML files which I have, documents related to Docker, and the YAML files related to Kubernetes, and the pipeline scripts related to the Jenkins I'm going to upload as part of your drive. And you any non-technical questions, you can contact this information, these mobile numbers, and you can email to this uh, email actually, so that they will be happy to assist you people. Okay, so that's the thing actually, that's the thing actually. But technical questions you can ask in the class, and if you want me to conduct an extra class for the questions that you have for the doubt clearing session like that, so I will be conducting an extra class if you have no problem. Okay, that's the thing actually. See, the only prerequisite for this is the AWS account. Okay, the only prerequisite for joining this course is the AWS account. That's it. Okay, other than that, you not required anything, because we are going to start from the very scratch level actually. So that's the thing actually. Okay, that's the thing. Any questions anyone has regarding this? Okay, before moving further to the syllabus.
So are you starting anything, any batch from 7? Because like this 8 is not suitable for me.
No, 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 no batch at 7. Sorry for that. No batch at 7.
Hi, sir. I just wanted to know, you told that this will be based on AWS, right? Can we get it in GCP also, or it will be same?
Concepts, Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes, these are the main concepts that we are going to learn, right? So
Mhm.
it will be same for GCP, it will be same for AWS, it will be same for Azure. Okay, creation of servers might be different in GCP, AWS, as well as the Azure. Okay, the creation of servers is different, but after creating the servers, the concepts will be same. Okay, for all the three things. Okay, I'll be telling you how to create a servers in the AWS. Okay, that's it. Creation of servers, that's it. Other than that, creation of like cluster means servers. So okay, you creation of servers and installing the things. After creating the servers, you can follow my classes in GCP also, because that creation of servers is the main thing that we are going to do as part of the AWS. That's the thing actually.
But GCP has that GKE, that is self-managed one. So
Yes.
same thing will be there in.
In the AWS we have EKS, so we
Okay,
are to use that. Okay.
okay, thank you.
Okay, that's the thing. And let me go through you the syllabus actually. And this is the syllabus. This is a syllabus. Okay, now you understand from where we are starting the course. You can see that what is SDLC. You can see that what is DevOps. Where does DevOps position in SDLC, and importance of DevOps in software release process. And you see that physical servers, virtual servers, virtualization, virtual servers, and cloud, Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes position in SDLC. Okay, now why we are learning this physical server, virtualization, virtual servers is because of these reasons only Docker is evolved. Okay, why there are some disadvantages with this technologies, with this methodology, so that is why Docker is there. So we are going to see that disadvantages and the devolution of Docker. Okay, now that's a Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes in SDLC position. Importance of Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes in the IT industry, because nowadays every IT industry, most of the people in the IT people, so are using Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes for automating the deployments and deploy for maintaining their applications on the Kubernetes clusters. So it's very important nowadays in the industry to learn Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes. Okay, that's the thing actually. First, like it's a Jenkins introduction. You can see that the introduction to CI/CD and popular tools in the market of CI/CD. But yeah, I'll be telling you what are the popular tools, but mostly we'll focus on Jenkins. Okay, now introduction, because most of the people use Jenkins. Okay, in introduction to Jenkins installation, creating multi-slave architecture, because in Jenkins we can create master slave architecture. Master will be like master, which will be controlling the slaves, and slaves will be like the servers on which our jobs, Jenkins jobs, will be executed. How to create that master slave architecture, I will be explaining you very well. See, all the things will be in practical actually. Explanation of technical terms. Okay, in Jenkins, first you need to understand what are the different technical terms. Okay, that is there with the Jenkins, so that you will be understanding that technology really good. Sorry, because if I say controller, okay, you will be questioning like that, what is controller in Jenkins, so something like that, right? So first itself, if I tell you the technical terms, it will be really understanding to you uh, on the technology. Actually, it will be very understanding kind of thing for you people if I tell the technical terms prior itself. Yeah, that's the thing actually. One second. One yeah, Jenkins deep dive. Okay, in the Jenkins deep dive, what we are going to do is walking you through the Jenkins console, creating freestyle project pipeline projects, creating multi-branch pipeline projects, and working with pipeline projects, exploring various options that we have as part of the creating pipelines. Okay, Jenkins integrations. Okay, as part of the project, we are going to integrate the Jenkins with GitHub, SonarQube, Jenkins with JFrog, Jenkins with uh, Docker Hub, Trevi, and the Kubernetes. And we also integrate the Jenkins with that one. Blue Ocean, where we can visualize our Jenkins pipeline. Okay, that's the thing actually. Now Jenkins configuration and configuring credentials in the Jenkins pipeline, configuring custom environment variables, shared libraries. Shared libraries is an important concept that you need to understand in the industry. What are shared libraries? Why it is used for? Okay, that you need to understand actually. And configuring shared libraries with Jenkins pipeline, and configuring Jenkins pipeline with parameters, configuring Blue Ocean and upstream and downstream projects. Okay, predefined environment variables and Jenkins pipeline with Jenkins pipeline, user and role management in Jenkins. Using plugins with Jenkins, exploring Jenkins stash and working with its what Jenkins stash. See how deep we are going to. Okay, we are going into actually, you can understand, because I want to give the experience to people, like it's like 5 to 6 years of experience in Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes. Okay, that kind of knowledge you are going to get. Okay, now Jenkins troubleshooting and backup, troubleshooting issues faced in the possible, like if any problem appears. Okay, we are going to solve that problem, and I will be telling you what are the different problems that may appear in the Jenkins. Okay, you will be able to know that. Okay, in the real time when you are working on the Jenkins, okay, this problem has appeared. Okay, this problem is related to this, and this is the main solution of the problem. You will be understanding like that. Okay, so I'll be telling you what are the troubleshooting steps, okay, that you need to undergo in order to solve a particular problem if you face any problem as part of your Jenkins actually. So in that case, it will be very easy for you when you work in a real industry. So that's a thing, that's a troubleshooting issues what you are faced in Jenkins. And backup and restore, we are going to backup Jenkins, really how to take a backups from the Jenkins machine, because you need to take a regular backups from the Jenkins machines. Okay, Jenkins servers, because if any wrong thing happens with that server, it is like you will be losing all the data. Okay, you will be losing all the data. Such kind of problems you may not face if you take a backup of the Jenkins, and you can restore the backup with the other machine if you install Jenkins in that other machine, and you can restore the data which from the backup to that other machine, so that it will be working as it is. Okay, now projects, or like with the Jenkins, we are going to do one project. I have separate presentation for the projects. It is very good actually, but if we are going to see actually now project on combination of Jenkins, Maven Java, okay, SonarQube, JFrog, Docker, Trevi, and Kubernetes. Okay, all this will be part of the project in the Jenkins pipeline. Okay, we are going to see that. Okay, now Jenkins Jenkins will be completed as part of this. Okay, Jenkins will be completed as part of this. And next thing is Docker. Okay, now what is Docker? What is introduction to Docker and Docker containers, installing Docker and Docker Compose. Docker Compose, is an important tool that you need to understand in order to automate the creation of containers and in order to deploy our application as part of the container. Okay, please do not mind, I might be speaking many technical words because I need to understand, I need to tell you the syllabus, I need to explain you the syllabus, so that yeah, that's the thing actually. So that you will be able to know importance of the syllabus actually. So that's what I am explaining now. But if anything is not understanding, because uh it might be for you, it's a new thing, and technical words, all the things, but it will be very clear as part of the course actually. Do not worry about that. Okay, explanation of YAML syntax and technical terms that are there with Docker actually. What is Docker host? What is Docker client? Docker daemon, Docker registry, Docker images? What are all these things? Okay, why we call those things are that with that names? Okay, now that all the things, such kind of experience you are going to get, like technical terms, you need to understand with that actually. Now, Docker deep dive, commands used in Docker and their explanation with the flags. What are the different commands that we use as part of the Docker, and working with Docker images, practical examples of running applications and use cases. Everything I've told you, all the things will be practical, and we are going to consider some use cases. We are going to perform that use cases, and we are going to do that. Okay, now understanding three-tier architecture, explanation of creating multi-container architecture with hyphen flag and Docker Compose actually. Now that's the thing. Practical examples and use case of multi-container architecture. We need to establish the communication between two different applications in the microservices world, right? So to establish the communication between two applications, how we can establish in the Docker. Okay, using hyphen link option and Docker Compose. Okay, that's what the option we are going to use. That's what the option we are going to use in order to establish the communication between two different applications as part of the Docker actually. So that's the thing actually. Creating custom Docker images is very important in the industry. This is what you are going to use as part of the Docker in the real time. Okay, if you are a developer. Okay, now understanding it, like it's not only for developer, it's very also important for the DevOps engineers or whatever who it is, because if any questions are asked in the interviews in Docker, at least one or two questions will be there as part, like which belongs to Docker, Docker file and creating custom Docker images. Okay, that's the thing actually. Understanding and creating custom Docker images, understanding the Docker file, and explanation of various keywords in the Docker file, and what is cache bursting in Docker. Okay, that's that's the thing that we are going to use actually. Okay, it's very important as part of this, actually, as part of the Docker, because it's in interview asked questions actually. Okay, it's interview asked concepts. Okay, now what is Docker volumes? Docker volumes and Docker networking. Suppose if you are running any application, right, the applications will be generating some data, like it might be logs. Okay, it might be different things, it might be files. Okay, all this data need to be stored, right? Need to be stored. For that we have something called Docker volumes. Okay, now we also have Docker networking. We are going to see we have multiple Docker, like simple Docker volumes are bind mounts, and Docker volume containers are two types of Docker volumes. We are going to understand the difference between these Docker volumes in our course. And understanding the Docker networking, we have multiple types of network as part of Docker: bridge network, host network, null network, and overlay network. And practical examples and use cases with Docker volumes and Docker networking. Okay, all these things we are going to do. And Docker registry, understanding the Docker registry and its types. What are the different types of Docker registries that we have? Public registry and private registry. I'm going to explain you very clearly as part of the course, but as of now, it's a technical words might be for you. Please bear with me. Okay, yeah, that's the thing. Custom advanced concepts and projects actually. Now, multi-stage Docker builds for our applications. We are going to take our one application or two applications, some applications, and we are going to write multi-stage Docker builds, multi-stage Docker file. Okay, so that's very, very important. And how to write this, and I am going to show very clearly for you as part of the course. Actually, multi-stage Docker builds is really, really important. You need to understand that. Okay, understanding layers of Docker images. What are layers that we call it as? Okay, practical examples and use case of multi-stage Docker builds. Okay, projects on Docker and Docker Compose, debugging and troubleshooting of issues faced in the Docker. Okay, so you need to understand what are the different problems that we may face in the Docker, and then only you will be understanding how to solve those problems, and what might be the solution to not to solve those problems actually. So we are going to do such kind of debugging. What are the different steps you need to take in order to solve for solving those problems? So that kind of debugging and troubleshooting issues that we are going to do uh, do as part of the Docker. And yeah, that's a Docker. That's the end of the Docker here actually. Next, introduction to container orchestration and advantages. Various container orchestration technologies available in the market, and introduction to Kubernetes. Okay, we are mainly focusing on Kubernetes, but not any other container orchestration technologies. The Kubernetes will be common for whether you take GCP, whether you take Azure, whether you take AWS. The creation of clusters might be different. Okay, the concepts will be common in all the cloud environments. Actually, we are going to create three ways of Kubernetes clusters. One is Minikube way, other one is like that one, a Cubedium way, other one is EKS way of creating clusters. Okay, the concepts will be same, and the creation of cluster will be different in various ways actually. Okay, that's the thing. So that's the thing actually. We are going to install the kubectl client in order to communicate with the Kubernetes cluster, and I am going to explain the various technical words that are there as part of the Kubernetes. Okay, it might be the kube API server, controller manager, scheduler, etcd, kubelet, kube proxy, and container runtime engine. I'm going to explain all these things. Okay, now explanation of technical terminologies. Yeah, I have told you already. Yeah, exploring Kubernetes cluster and imperative command and Kubernetes manifest. Imperative commands is very useful if you are aiming for a certification, like whatever the certification that you want to do as part of the Kubernetes. Okay, imperative commands will save you the time. Okay, will save you the time in the certification exam. Okay, now Kubernetes manifest is the way we are going to use in the real time, because yeah, I need to explain you both things. Okay, so that you are going to get two experiences. Okay, one is with respect to certification, and the other one is with respect to Kubernetes other one is with respect to industry. Okay, that's what I'm trying to explain here. And Kubernetes workloads and resources, we are going to containers, init containers, sidecar containers, pods, replica sets, deployments, daemon sets, jobs, cron jobs, and stateful sets. All these things we are going to see as part of this course. Actually, these are the workloads where with which our applications will be running within the Kubernetes cluster actually. So that's the thing actually, that's our workloads, and understanding the difference between the init containers and sidecar containers. So what are this actually? What is init container and what is sidecar container? Understanding the pod phases and container states in Kubernetes. Okay, explanation of annotations in Kubernetes, explanation of multi-container pods, imperative and declarative commands of for Kubernetes, and practical examples and use case of above workloads. All the things will be in practical. Okay, now Kubernetes services and workload load balancing. You need to understand the services in order to route the traffic to our backend applications. So we are going to see cluster IP, node port, load balancer, external name, and headless service, and all these things will be in practical. All the course will be in practical. Do not worry about that. Okay, now Kubernetes storage. As part of the Kubernetes storage, we are going to see uh, empty dir, host bot, static volume provisioning, dynamic volume provisioning, storage classes. We are going to see persistent volumes, persistent volume claims. All these things we are going to see. Storing the data at the container level, storing the data at the pod level, storing the data at the node level. So if we store the data at the container level, pod level, and node level, what are the disadvantages that we have? What is the reason that we need to store the data at the external stores like EBS volumes or at the, any other databases? So that's what we are going to do as part of the Kubernetes Kubernetes storage. Actually, now configuring Kubernetes workloads, we are going to configure the Kubernetes workloads with config map, secrets, sealed secrets, request limits and resource quota, limit ranges and quality of service classes, and understanding different types of Kubernetes deployments and their significance, horizontal for autoscaler, configuring like image pull policy and commands and arguments, and explanation of namespaces, liveness probe, readiness probe, and startup probes, and API groups and Kubernetes resources under them, security context in Kubernetes, practical examples and use cases on all these things. All these things will be practical. Okay. Now, after that, we are going towards the scheduling, introduction to scheduling in Kubernetes. Okay, now we are, as part of the scheduling, we are going to see multiple things. Okay, node affinity, node anti-affinity, like pod affinity, pod anti-affinity, taints and tolerations. As per the taints and tolerations, we have different taint effects. Okay, node name, okay, node name and node selector. Okay, all these things we are going to see as part of the every each and everything which I have told you will be in practical. Okay, what is the difference between taints and tolerations and node affinity? All these things we are going to see actually. Now, maintenance. Okay, under the, as part of the maintenance pod, what we are going to see: pod disruption budget. Okay, garbage collection in Kubernetes cluster, coordinating and uncoordinating the nodes. Okay, understanding the eviction of and migration of applications. Okay, now switching between the context for working with different Kubernetes clusters, kubectx and kubeNS tools to switch between the context and namespaces. Okay, we are going to see all these things. Okay, do not worry if I'm speaking about much technical, it will be very clear, very clear as part of the course which we are going to do. Okay, so security. Okay, under the security, what we are going to understanding service accounts, under using service accounts with Kubernetes dashboard application. Okay, role binding, cluster and cluster role binding, RBAC, role based access control, and explanation of static pods. Okay, explanation of .kube/config file, and practical examples and use case of security. Okay, that's everything will be practical, what I already told you. Okay, so advanced concepts that we are going to do is what is custom resource definition in Kubernetes, deploying custom resource definition into Kubernetes cluster, working with custom resources. Actually, if you deploy any custom resource definition to Kubernetes, then only it will allow us to uh, deploy custom resources. Okay, now that's the thing. Actually, it's dependent on each other. I'll be telling you very clearly. I'll be telling you very clearly. Actually, now just as of now, just think train and the tracks. Without tracks, there is no train, right? So the track should be there if the train want to run on, like if you want to travel in the train, right? So that's the thing. Actually, like that CRD is like a tracks and the custom resource is like a train. So that's the thing. Actually, CRD, if you deploy to the Kubernetes cluster only, you can deploy the custom resources. So something like that. Okay, now it will be very clear as part of the course. Okay, now networking. As part of the networking, we are going to see introduction to networking in Kubernetes, ingress and what is significance, available ingress controllers. Okay, host based routing and path based routing we are going to see, and we are network policies and use cases, service internal policy, traffic policy, practical examples and use case of networking. Okay, now backup and restore, need of backup to Kubernetes resources, ways to backup Kubernetes resources, rolling updates and rollbacks, backup of etcd database deployed in Kubernetes cluster. Actually, so all these things we are going to see. Monitoring and troubleshooting, we are going to monitor the Kubernetes cluster. uh, uh, we are going to find the problems, we are going to solve the problems if any problem appears, and we are going to create the problem, and we are going to solve the problem pointedly, because you need to understand this kind of problem will be appears in the this kind of scenarios, and if that scenario occurs, you will be understanding in the industry that okay, this problem is appeared and I need to solve in this way. So such kind of experience you are going to get. Different issues that may occur in Kubernetes cluster, viewing, visiting logs and describing applications to debug applications. Okay, we understanding the problems with and the significance. Okay, monitoring cluster with Kubernetes dashboard, integrating rancher with Amazon EKS cluster. Okay, all these things we are going to see as part of the monitoring and troubleshooting. Now, other tools we are going to see Helm. Okay, Helm is a package manager for Kubernetes. Okay, so that's what we are going to see, and we are, as part of the Helm, we are going to see conditions, loops. Okay, named templates. Okay, so values.yaml files. Okay, common. Okay, installing Helm and working with it. Commands. Okay, commands with Helm, actually explanation, working with Helm, explanation of folder structure, functions, conditions, loops in Helm, Helm templating, named templates, okay, KNS tool to manage multiple EKS clusters, Argo CD to automate the deployments into Kubernetes cluster. Actually, Argo CD is an important tool. There are two important tools in the industry, that is Flux CD and the Argo CD, but most of the people we uses Argo CD. We are going to see that Argo CD in our classes as part of the project. Okay, project as part of the Kubernetes, projects on combination of Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes, KNS and Argo CD. All these things we are going to see. Actually, now summary summarize about the things we learned at the final. Okay, now what we are going to use the tools. Actually, we are going to use 28 different tools in order to complete this course. See how important it is. We are going to use all these tools we are going to use as part of this course. Actually, okay, all these tools we are going to use as part of this course. we are going to we are going to track our regular activities using Jira tool. I have a Jira dashboard. Okay, we are going to use the Jira tool to track our completion of the courses. Actually, so something like that. Okay, now AWS services we are going to use Elastic EC2, load balancers, and ECR, okay, EKS, and the VPC. These are all the things that we are going to use as part of the AWS services. Okay, I'll be explaining what are these things and why they are required in AWS. Okay, I'll be giving explanation on that. Now that's the thing. Actually, now we are going towards the projects. Okay, I have a separate presentation on that. One second, where is that presentation? uh yeah, it's here. Okay, now let me click on this. Okay, so it's projects on Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes. You know already because the course is on that. And the first project is related to Docker. As part of the project, I am including multiple concepts of Docker. Okay, Docker file, Docker volumes, multi-stage Docker builds, Docker compose, Docker networking, and container communication. All the things in this which you are seeing as part of the project will be automated. Creation of student store application, MongoDB application, establishing the communication between the student store application and the MongoDB application, creating the custom network, and creation of student store application from the Docker file, and port mappings. What is port mapping? See, everything will be clear as part of the code, but yeah, you need to understand the projects, right? So that's what I'm explaining. Port mappings and visiting uh, port mappings with the Postman and the Mongo Compass, that is stored that will be connected to MongoDB to view the data. Okay, all these things is there as part of the things. Please understand the importance of the projects. So that's that kind of projects we are going to do. This is the project number 2 with respect to Kubernetes. We are going to deploy our applications, okay, in the Kubernetes clusters. Okay, we are going to use the liveness probe, horizontal protoscaler, secret, config map, limits, namespaces, resource quota, job, cron job, deployments, replica set, service. Okay, now what is that? Persistent volume claims, persistent volume storage classes, and the ECR to get the images, Docker images. So all these things we are going to use. Pods, Docker Hub. Okay, all these things we are going to use. Okay, do not worry about this. All these things we are going to, you will be very clear as part of the course. Actually, because that's the thing. It's a bit technical some of you people, but yeah, that's okay. But yeah, that's the thing. Okay, please understand the importance of the projects, the important projects which is used in the real industry, which will be used in the real industry. I will be explaining you to people that kind of experience that you are going to get. Actually, so that's the thing. Now the second project that we are the third project that we are going to do is this. Okay, the extra part, the see, if you go down to below, the complexity of the projects increases between the project to project. Okay, the extra part I have added from the project to project 3 is from project 2 to project 3 is uh, like security and the networking. Okay, now cluster role binding, cluster role binding, and the service like networking, like ingress controllers, Kong, and the Nginx ingress controller. And we are going to use route 53, and we are going to route the traffic from the users to our Kubernetes cluster, from our to our Kubernetes applications. Actually, so what is this path based routing? If you type www.youtube.com/test, that is slash test at the end of the youtube.com, is the API that we call it as. Okay, that API, if you type slash test, then the traffic should be going to this service. If you type /demo, then the traffic should be going to this service. So such kind of path-based routing that we are going to do as part of the course. Okay, that is project number 3. And the project number 4, please understand the importance of the project. Is a very important projects. Okay, now we are going to automate the deployments of our applications using Argo CD Helm into the Kubernetes cluster, and Argo CD will be connecting to the GitHub project, GitHub repository, and deploying the applications directly to the Kubernetes cluster. If any change is there in the in the GitHub repository, automatically Argo CD will detect that change, and automatically that Argo CD will be deploying that change to the Kubernetes cluster. And we are going to integrate the Kubernetes cluster with Kubernetes dashboard, K9s, and Rancher. Okay, Rancher. These are the visualization tools where you can visualize your Kubernetes dashboard. Actually, we are going to do this. Okay, now the project number 5 is EFK stack. It's a real, see, it's a standard, it's a industry standard projects, actually, all the things. Okay, EFK stack, you need to collect the logs, and we need to send those logs to Elasticsearch. From the Kibana, we are going to collect, we are going to view the logs from the Kibana dashboard. Okay, we are going to see this project. Okay, from the Kubernetes, we are going to collect the logs and send it to Elasticsearch, and Kibana will be connecting to Elasticsearch to view the logs. We can view the logs as part of the Kibana dashboard. So we are going to integrate all these things with the Kubernetes cluster for visualization of the logs from the Kubernetes cluster, actually. So this is a project number 5, that is EFK stack. Okay, you might be listening the ELK stack. Okay, Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana, and EFK stack, Elasticsearch, Fluent Bit, and Kibana. These are two famous stacks that is used in the real time to fetch the logs and to collect the logs from the Kubernetes cluster and send it to Kibana. So that's the thing we are going to use here, that EFK stack, not ELK. We are going to see the EFK stack. Okay, that's a project number 5. Project number 6 is the metrics collection. That's a log. This project number 5 is logs collection. Project number 6 is metrics collection. As part of the project number 6, we are going to collect the metrics information. What is metrics? Like how much amount of CPU is consumed by my Kubernetes clusters. Okay, how much amount of memory consumed by my Kubernetes cluster, how many requests are coming, how many requests are going, how many are successful requests, how many are failure requests. So all those metrics will be collected by our Prometheus. Prometheus is a tool. We are going to integrate and Prometheus and Grafana with the Kubernetes clusters, and we are going to collect the metrics. The dashboard will be like this. Okay, we are going to collect the metrics. Prometheus will be collecting the metrics, and the Grafana will be getting the metrics from the Prometheus, and visual that will show as part of the Kubernetes like Grafana dashboard. You can see that this is the dashboard, actually. Now that's, I think that's a project number 6. And the project number 7 is Kiali. Okay, we are going to use STO as a service mesh. We are going to integrate our Kubernetes cluster with STO, and we are going to deploy our STO service mesh to our Kubernetes cluster, and we are going to deploy some of the applications, and we are going to visualize the traffic flow. The traffic management tool is Kiali. We are going to visualize the traffic flow as part of the Kiali tool. It's a beautiful tool, and we are going to see how much time between, see, there are two different applications which are communicating with each other, and how much time is taking between two different applications. How much, suppose first application sending the request to second application, how much time the second application is getting, second application sending back the response. So such kind of internal things you will be able to know as part of the Kiali dashboard. Okay, Kiali is very it's really very useful and very important tool. Okay, there's a project number 7, and the project number 8 is this. Okay, this is a Jenkins pipeline. As I have told you, the Jenkins, when I'm explaining the Jenkins syllabus, we are going to integrate the pipeline with GitHub, Jenkins, like Maven, test cases, SonarQube, Java, JFrog, and Docker image. We are going to create a Docker image out of the application, Spring Boot application, scanning the Docker image with the Tree, pushing the Docker image to Docker Hub, clean up activities, and triggering the downstream project, that is a downstream job, that is GitHub. That is another job that we have, another pipeline or another Jenkins job. Once that is happened, that you are going to get a mail saying that the deployment is going to happen into the Kubernetes cluster, and the Argo CD will be performing the deployment automatically to the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, it finally we are achieved our goal. See here in this pipeline, the developers will be pushing their code to the GitHub repository. After pushing the code to the GitHub repository, application code to the GitHub repository, everything will be automated as part of this Jenkins pipeline. This is full-fledged Jenkins pipeline that is really used in the real time actually. So it's a real-time use Jenkins pipeline. See, all these things will be automated until the deployments. Only developers need to be pushed their code to the GitHub repository. That's it. Everything will be automated as part of this Jenkins pipeline, and you are going to get a mail that this pipeline, this deployment is going to happen to the Kubernetes cluster. That kind of mail you are going to get. Okay, these are the 8 different projects. Okay, please understand the importance of 8 different projects and 28 different tools, the content we have added to the syllabus, and that's all we are going to do as part of this course. Okay, that's the thing. Yeah, any questions, anyone, please? Is that clear? Is that clear?
So all these tools that we are using, we can keep it in resume or will not go into depth into those things.
No, see, we are going to use the tools in order to complete the course. These tools we are not going to deep actually, because if I go to 28 tools deeply, how much time it will take? Okay,
Yeah.
wherever required, we are going to use the tools, and how to use the tools wherever required, I'm going to tell you. That's the thing.
But even our role will not be using all the tools, right? It will be specific to 2 or 3 area where we work.
uh yeah, you see, it will be very specific. Your role in your company will be specific to Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes. Okay, now see, you need to understand all these tools. You need to understand all these tools. You can see that here. And it is not, you might not be using all these tools in the industry, but it will be useful for you somewhere. If you go to another industry, another company, they might be using the Kiali. At present they might be not using Kiali. At that time you are going to get that experience. And STO they might be using in another company. Presently you are not going to, you might be not using. So the such kind of, see, that's the thing, it's entirely related to the company whether that company uses or not, but we are going to get all these experiences. That's what I am saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you people finding this course useful, or are you people finding the projects useful? Okay, what you people think about the content and the projects?
One more question. I have around 10 years experience. Okay. So, but current role is Oracle DB. So how I will make a transition? I'll just learn this course and can tell that I have 3 4 years experience in this, or
Yes, after taking this course you will be like 5 to 6 years of experience as part of Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes, all these 3 tools actually, because that kind of content we have included as part of this course. Okay, it is designed by keeping in mind, I already told you, it is designed by keeping in mind both freshers and experienced people. Okay, you can make a transition, easy transition, yes, but it's only Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes, but not all other technologies actually. That's the thing.
okay.
Yeah.
So Shiva, after completing this course, what kind of roles can we apply for the jobs?
See, this course is not for any role actually. Suppose this course will come under, see, there are multiple roles. Developers, for the developers, some of the companies asking these 3 tools. Okay, now for the DevOps engineers, these 3 tools will be asked. Okay, for the SRE engineers, these 3 tools will be asked. For the cloud engineers also, these 3 tools will be asked. Okay, only these 3 tools are not enough for those roles. Okay, these 3 tools are core. These 3 tools are cores for that roles, but only these 3 tools are not enough for that roles. These 3 tools are heart of that roles actually. Some other role, it does not come under any role actually. It comes under role, but not entirely on that role actually. You need to add some other things to that role so that you can apply for that job. Okay, it's something like that. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Are you finding this course content useful, projects useful? What you people say?
It's useful, Shiva. Like you're like looks like covering many topics here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's the thing actually. Yeah, let me go here and yeah, if you compare my course with any other courses, the content will not be like this. You are not going to get such kind of industry experience. Okay, now that's what I can say. That's the thing. And now tomorrow what we are going to see is we went through these things today: tutor introduction, general introduction, and course introduction. And tomorrow what we are going to see is about all these things. Okay, what is DevOps, what is an application, what is SDLC, what is a server, what is a physical server, what is Docker and Kubernetes, where does Docker and Kubernetes fits in the software release process, that we are going to see from tomorrow 7 a.m. at the same time. But from Monday, the timings is going to be changed, that from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. actually. From Monday or Tuesday, we are going to shift your timings from uh, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. morning. Okay, that's the thing I can say. This is the agenda for tomorrow's class, and that's the thing. Okay, yeah. That's the thing, that's the class for today. If you have any questions, you can ask. If not, we are going to meet in the next class, that is tomorrow 7 a.m. morning sharp. Any questions, please? Okay, if no questions, we are going to meet tomorrow. Thanks for joining sessions, and continue to join. That's the thing. Please go ahead and register for the course, and that's what I can say. And yeah, we will be meeting tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Shiva.
Thank you.
Thank you.